Fuck you mean you don't know DJ Mark B? You better preach it.
You may disagree, but up to me, it's a fact. Paying running backs, it ain't no fun in that. Yeah, the sermon about to start, so I hope you know your stats. And if Kev get it wrong, then Rashad gon' have his back with the facts. Matter of fact, all we do is say wins. When wings, congregation say amen. Trades, debates, wins, losses, the latest news, bruh. Prophet Kev speak, he got him saying hallelujah.
Welcome to Preach Kev Preach with Rashad. We are the prophets. Here another episode, another sermon coming at you from Wildcard Sports here on Wildcard TV. Rashad, what's going on, bro?
Just checking the Twitter, man. The NFL going crazy with the news today.
Yeah, all day long. Somebody hit my phone about somebody getting tagged. We are joined by Lauren Gunn, co-host of a Blue Hardwood podcast and co-host of the Gun Show. I think that's on Locker Room. Is that with who's that with?
The Gunshot is with my brother Grant Gunn, and yeah, so sometimes we'll do live stuff on Locker Room, and then other times we'll just do like a weekly podcast that drops on Spotify and Apple Music, all the main ones.
All right, welcome to the show.
Are you a WWE fan? No relation to Billy Gunn?
No, man. Brian, my co-host Brian would kill me if I said I'm not the biggest WWE fan, but no relation there.
The smoking guns, Billy and Bart.
I know. I should be.
That's funny. All right, so we're glad you joined the show. Rashad already talked about the NFL news and how everything's coming out, and I think we finally got the answer we've been debating for the last 2 years.
Tag or not to tag? That is the question.
and the Dallas Cowboys finally decided to pay Dak Prescott. Now, I know a lot of people looking at his contract and asking, is he worth it? So, I hate to ask that question because we know the best valuable position is quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it's like the market is what it is, and you can't beat that. So we'll start off. Y'all finally, are we happy that Dak Prescott paid? Finally, what is our move right now?
I mean, so for me personally, when I'm looking at this situation, is how do you 40 plus that's a lot per year, and I get that argument of it, but like you said, the quarterback is one of the most important position on your team, and so if you sometimes whether you feel he's worth it or not, you have to also weigh the cost and benefit of, okay, so if we want to move on from Dak and we go trade him, or we have to go look for another QB, like what does that position put, like what is our position then moving forward? And so for me, it's like, you know what, if you go pay him, I mean, the team believes in him, the team loves him, and so at least you now have your future is certain, or maybe whether you get to the Super Bowl or not is another question. Like everybody's waiting for that, but to now have this solidified, you've got a group of guys that are under contract for X number of years, and so hopefully you can try to get some momentum and make something happen. So personally, I'm excited about it. I know some people are like, he's not worth it, should have traded him, but that's where I'm at.
I mean, it really just boils down to what other option did they have? Because there really was no other option. Mariota, Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, not very appealing. And then you look at everybody kept throwing Russ out there. Mm-hmm. You would have to mortgage your entire future to get Russ. So you were damned if you did, damned if you don't. Because if you trade 3 first rounders to Seattle and give up Dak, how are you going to replace your aging O-line or replace stuff on defense when you have too many holes on defense? So, they were just stuck regardless. So, when you consider the circumstances, he was worth it. That's the only reason he's worth it, because based upon circumstances, you had no other option to go to except paying him. You can't redo time and go pay him 2 years ago. So, the market is what it is. He's the next guy up. Next guy always resets the market, so you got to pay what you had to pay, and so he's worth it in that sense.
Yeah,
I feel like they did play their hand, and I feel like they should have went ahead and did the move when Goff got paid and Carson Wentz got paid, because I mean at the time you could have did a contract early when he he's a 4th round pick, so after year 2 or 3, you could have gone and tried to extend him for a contract. So I'm looking at the numbers, and it is crazy what he's making. I think he's getting like $66 million guaranteed, $75 million in year 1, but somewhere in the 90s for total fully guaranteed. But you look at the number. So 4 years, 160. So for the first 4 years, he made $2.7 million. So we put all that together. He's only making $20 million a year. Now, is it Dak's fault that they didn't win when he was so discounted? You know, I mean, I thought he played very well, definitely more than his contract at the time, stated. So now he's making $40 million. Now the question, and it's bad that the narrative is going to be like this. Mm-hmm. Oh, he getting paid $40 million. Why is he winning a Super Bowl? Like, why can't he get to the? I hate that for quarterbacks because they make all the money. They touch the ball every play, but at the same time, it's like he can't stop the other team from scoring 30. Or is Tyron Smith going to play 16 games? They just crazy examples of like where the Cowboys have to go. So I'm glad he got paid, and I feel like Dallas should have done this a long time ago. Like they were sitting there trying to see if he's the guy, but like Rashad said, like Cam Newton, Mariota, like you didn't really have no options, and even at pick number 10, what quarterback are you going to take?
Right.
So. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, he got paid, and like Rashad said, I think that makes him worth the contract. It's just what's next? Shout out to Drake. What I guess what is next, Lauren? If you want to say like what you think the next steps for the Cowboys are.
I mean, number one, it's you got to improve that defense, and so I don't know who they're going to take at that 10th spot. I wouldn't be opposed to them getting their hands on Micah Parsons, but I don't think that's going to happen. And so for me, the number one thing is defense. I know some people are talking about how the offense, like Dak will have his problems or he won't quite get the job done. But just like you said, he can't control if the other team's putting up 30 or 40 or 50. And so it's like, that's a huge, huge problem. So while that offensive line is aging, I feel like every single game, everyone is just pulling their hair out watching this defense and watching the secondary, just massive holes. And it's easy for opposing teams. So for me, I'd like to see them make significant strides to improve that defense and just kind of go from there.
Well, Dak already saved them $15 million for the salary cap this year, so they better use that wisely along with their draft picks. So you're at 10. That should be a spot for offensive line because the offensive line is starting to age, or you got to go defense. Those are your only two options. No more CeeDee Lambs and Gallups. You got enough pass catchers. I don't care about tight ends, anything. You need to go offensive line or defense. So best player available for either spot. I mean, depending upon what mock draft you're following, Penei Sewell will be there. You may have Slater there. Defense is all over the board because this is not a defensive heavy draft. No pass rushers. You got to just take the best available for the defense and kind of see what happens from there. Jerry's paid everybody, so you're kind of cap strapped the next couple of years. So you have to hit on every pick. Cooper, Smith, Zach Martin, Zeke, Dak. Now, I mean, they love to pay their guys. So you invest a lot of money into these guys. So from now on, you got to just start doing what you've done before and hit on some draft picks. Because for a while, they were nailing the draft picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's crazy? I feel like we talked about this for a long time. Like the decisions Cowboys made. Lawrence, if you don't know, like we our number one rule in NFL is we don't pay running backs. Like when you leave this show, you're gonna remember that we like that's something that we don't like. And every situation that comes up that we like since we've been doing this show, like every time it always had come up and like now it's like, are you pay Zeke? He didn't look that great last year. Now the offensive line is aging, so can he? Can he be that old guy he used to be? You got Tyron Smith not being his what he was. DeMarcus Lawrence, his contract. Jalen Smith being rumored getting traded already. Like it's a lot of decisions that like. They all, and what's crazy is I feel like it's all gonna go back to Dak, and they're gonna blame him for everything. But it's
true.
Like, man,
you can't,
because I think they should draft a corner this draft, like I think Patrick Surtain for
Surtain, yeah.
And then you put him back with Diggs, had that Bama secondary, and or you get J.C. Horn from South Carolina. But at the same time, it's like, well, you had Byron Jones, like and you chose to pay the other guys instead. So it's I guess it's more hindsight speaking, but. Is there one decision that you was like, man, why did we do this?
I want to say, I'd say maybe the Jalen Smith when we paid Jalen Smith because I don't know. I just felt like there are certain areas where that money could be used elsewhere. With Zeke, it was kind of, at least my perception of it is, I mean, you don't. What were you just like going to not pay Zeke or trade Zeke? I just didn't expect them to do that, and so I feel like when they extended Jalen Smith and when they paid DeMarcus Lawrence, it was kind of like, okay, well now you are like strapped, like you're kind of stuck, and so I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on those two, but at the same time, like that's our defense, and we need defense, and so it's like. For me, it's like if you're getting paid and you're not performing well consistently enough, then that's where I have a problem. I think on the basketball side of things, that's where a lot of people are having the problem with Porzingis right now. And so for me, that's where it kind of comes in. But I think I agree with you completely. If Dallas doesn't improve overall or they're not performing well enough as a team, everyone is going to blame it on Dak. Everyone is going to look to Dak and say, look at all that money you're getting paid and you're not doing anything. And so that is going to suck because it's absolutely going to happen. But I don't know. Hopefully they can get creative and again, just start with that defense and go from there. But I don't know.
Hey, Rashad, so as of I'm a Viking fan. So as a Viking fan, they would blame everything on your quarterback. If he didn't take that big deal, we could have got a guard. Like that was going to change the landscape of the whole game, whatever. But like that's what's going to happen. I just thought about this. I was like, so they like you said about the Zeke part where they drafted him top 5. So it's kind of like you had to pay him, right? I was like, well, it's the NFL gods gave the Cowboys.
But he jumped the line. He didn't mess everything up.
He did jump the line. Well, he went a year ahead, didn't he? That was true. But like the NFL gods gave the Cowboys a chance to draft Jalen Ramsey. Then they was like, all right, we'll give you Byron Jones. And then you let him go too. and now you have the hope say if Surtain come to you at 10. Like that's just funny to me. Like I just think about like if for whatever reason the Cowboys don't get the secondary, together, it's like, well, we gave you chances.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah, their money management is terrible though. That's all. It's the money management.
That's funny.
Jared said, "Open a checkbook."
Check. Put any number you want. Jones. Put any number you want, and I'll sign it. Don't you? That's funny. All right, let's move on to the to the same state, same city, Dallas Mavericks. So off air, we talked about the U-Haul Award from last week show, and I said that the Dallas Mavericks have to make a move to keep Luka happy because at the end of the day. It's all about making Luka better than Dirk Nowitzki. Can he have a better career than that? And if he does, that means Dallas has been balling for the next 10 to 15 years. So, what is the state of the Mavericks right now as they go into the second season, second part of the season, and looking to win the division, looking to make the playoffs, and repeat at least last year's performance when you battling the Clippers in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I think going into the second half of the season as the trade deadline is approaching, March 25th, I think they absolutely have to make a move because they have underperformed this season so far. And they've been on a solid stretch through February and then even to start March. And so I do feel like they think that they have some momentum and they're starting to figure things out. I've talked to some people who do think that Porzingis might have been brought back a little bit too early and they're just still kind of waiting on him to get into the flow of things and then maybe the team will look a lot different. But my perspective is they absolutely need to make a move. And I don't know if they will because sometimes you can't just will a move to happen. And if you're looking at the guys who are really available via trade, if you do want to take a significant step, well, you have to give up assets and we don't exactly have a whole lot of assets. And so in that regard, Dallas might be stuck a little bit and they might just continue to run it with this group. But as far as I think the Southwest Division and even the standings right now, I think there are a couple of improvements that Dallas could make to try and climb up those standings a little bit. Like we're just right behind San Antonio right now. I believe they are 18 and 14. They're 18 and 14. We're 18 and 16. And so San Antonio has exceeded expectations this year, and we have underperformed, like I said. So I think whether San Antonio maybe falls back down to earth a little bit, maybe we kind of get it together and climb up a little bit. Maybe one of those two things can happen, and then we can start working our way up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next 2 weeks, basically with the trade deadline coming up, because the Spurs, they've been in rumors, will they acquire somebody, will they just bail on the season? Mm-hmm. And, of course, the Mavs are always in trade discussions because they never signed anybody in free agency. So, I mean, there's a topic for another day, but the Mavs been missing on free agents for like the last, 10 years, if not longer, because they missed on any guy that was elite at that time. They couldn't get him. And then when you did get DeAndre Jordan, he got kidnapped. So, just.
Don't get me started.
So, the Mavs, even guys that are from Texas, like Bosh and some other guys, they just never go to the Mavs. I'm not sure why. No state income tax, been a well-run franchise. Mark Cuban's just like Jerry Jones. He don't mind opening the checkbook up for you. So, but I want to see what happens. Like, people think, Oladipo could be a target. You had other names floating around that the Mavs could target. So I'm not sure what they'll do. And the Spurs, will they abandon the season and just kind of plan for next year? Or will they say, we're going to just we've been overachieving by most standards this year. Let's ride it out, see how it plays. And then I guess during the offseason, they'll try to do a sign and trade with DeMar and those guys. So I think it's going to come down to the very last few games with both teams sitting at 18 wins currently.
Yeah, it's going to get close. To me, the reason that I'm so dead set on they absolutely have to make a move is because this entire season was supposed to be about making your case for free agency. Because like you said, every single year after year, it's a swing and a miss. And so everyone is looking at Dallas saying, okay, well, before you were pitching Dirk, and you're not going to be throwing lobs to Dirk. He's not going to be really playing any defense. So what free agents would necessarily want to go play with Dirk? I love Dirk. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but Luka's a completely different ball game. And so everyone is sitting here saying, people want to play with Luka. People can win with Luka. But then when you come out in your season where you've got all this money to go spend in the offseason and you're underperforming, that's not a good case to make to free agents. And so that's why I'm like, March 25th is approaching. There might be some situations where you can maximize and maybe like get another guy for maybe under his value. Like I think John Collins is a great option and that they absolutely should make that move if they know it's good for him, but I don't think they'll give up what it's going to take to get him. So I don't know what they are going to do, but free agency is going to be tough because if we continue at this trend that we're at, or God forbid we miss the playoffs, free agency is not going to look very good.
Yeah, the Collins move would be good for him, but at the same time, I think they might have to wait until the offseason to get that and just throw the bag at him and he'll leave the Hawks because the Hawks already made other moves to kind of backdoor that with the Capella trade, the Gallinari trade. They already kind of have a log jam up front, so paying Collins for the Hawks wouldn't make any sense. And so they'll kind of ignite that trade Luka thing some more too. He'll go from trade to Luka. And if he start making all-star games and putting up crazy numbers, it'll be like, why didn't trade make Collins better? So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe Kevin Love. I mean, he's been injured a lot lately, but he's getting paid so much money. And then I think Luka comes up in another year or two. So you might want to try to get that off the books before you have to hand Luka the big paycheck. Maybe Larry Nance. I mean, I'm sure the Cavs I want to bail on some guys at some point. I mean, it's the Cavs. They got to bail at some point on some of these guys. Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely some guys on the Cavs that I would like to get my hands on. Taurean Prince, I've heard is available. I've heard that, or I read too that the Cavs are fielding calls on Larry Nance, or at least they're receiving calls on Larry Nance. But I believe that I've talked to James Lafferty, who does the Everything Cavaliers podcast. He talks about how much Cleveland values Larry Nance. And yes, they got Jared Allen, so I'm not sure what that means for Larry Nance's future or timeline with the team, but I don't know that we have the assets to get Larry Nance. But as much as I also hate to say it, I do think that Kevin Love might be a move that Dallas does because, again, you don't have a lot of assets. They're trying to get off of Kevin Love, and even if you get another injury-prone big man, I know everyone that's like, if you're having trouble with KP's availability, Kevin Love is not the answer. But again, Dallas is stuck. Like, they need to add talent, and so they might just do it. It would not surprise me at all if they traded for Kevin Love. Wouldn't be thrilled, but at the same time, I'd be like, well, at least we made a move. So it's like,
But see, I want to know what they would give up because they are in that weird spot where Porzingis is making money but injured. You have Kleber, but you don't want to trade Kleber. So now it's what Johnson Richardson, who you just got. You need a defender because Luka's not the best defender. So Hardaway, you're starting to get into weird territory.
You got to keep Hardaway though because you got to start from the bench. Like
now it's like, what do you do? Yeah. I know I saw a rumor on Twitter they may chase after Fournier. I'm like, why would they go after Fournier and trade Richardson or something like that? That makes no sense at all. You need a defender. You don't need more scoring. You need somebody who can rebound or protect the rim.
Yes. Yeah. No kidding.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, one of my biggest frustrations with Dallas this season has been the past offseason. They made all these moves to improve defensively overall as a unit, and they're not playing the defensive guys. And I see why. I understand that Carlisle's like, James Johnson, you make too many mistakes. Wes Iwundu, you can't stretch the floor. You mess up our spacing. You can't hit the three. Josh Green, you're too young. Your game's just not quite there yet. I get it. But we traded Seth Curry, and I still stand by the move. You can't say hindsight 2020, like, oh, well, that was a bad move. I still stand by the move, but Josh Richardson is not living up to the defensive, like what we needed him to do. And so we have taken a huge step back offensively, and the defense hasn't improved at all. And so for me, you have to do something to address that problem. And I like Josh Richardson, but I'm in the camp of, or taking the position of, I just don't know that he's right for this system. And so if they decide to move on from anyone, I would 1000% move on from Jay Rich before I move on from Tim, because Tim has shown the ability to kind of be this microwave off the bench or step into that starting role and do it. And so I would like him to come off the bench, because I think having that depth is good. But Josh Richardson being the secondary next to Luka is, to me, that's just not working. And that's, I think, with James Johnson contract and Josh Richardson, there are moves that can be made. I just don't know if they'll make the tough decision to make them.
It might be that Carlisle effect. Carlisle, you either with him or you're not.
Right.
He can burn people out, or you're gonna flourish with Carlisle. It's one of those weird. I think he's a great coach. I think he's future Hall of Fame. But he's one of those guys that when you're with him, this guy's career takes off, or this guy just starts to look terrible and they get benched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
I was just going to say, like, I remember, like, we were talking about, like, after the draft, I was like, man, Dallas had, like, one of the best drafts, because I like even Tyler Bay. Like, I thought adding him and Josh Green, adding Richardson and James Johnson, we got some guys, some rough riders, because that's what the Clippers series missed, was like those guys who can play tough. Like this, I was like, oh, that's perfect. And then they replaced Seth with Tyrell from Stanford. So I was like, everything on paper, like, management did a great job. Like, I was like, that was me and Rashad was like, Luka about to win MVP. Like, this is easy. Like, easy money. And it's like, like you said, the defense, they just not playing them. And and now you see why he kind of underperforming, because if Josh Richardson, who I thought, he's one of those like a really good role player guys, like, who can do every single thing. He just don't do anything elite. And I was like, man, he would help Luka out a lot, because he can take the best wing player, let Luka off that night, just kind of similar to Klay Thompson and Curry. And I was like, well, all right, maybe he's not Klay Thompson defense, but he can do something. And you're right, if you're gonna move off somebody, that's why you keep hearing the Depot rumors all the time. Depot been rumored to every damn team since the last 2 years. Like, is he going to Miami or is he going to Dallas? Like, I need to know. Like, this is I'm getting tired of the Depot rumors. But
at this point, he might be a Knick.
Honestly,
maybe that might be a good move, actually. But yeah, I don't know where he's going. I really wish he get traded so we can stop. And I need him to sign a long contract so we can get Depot out of here. Like, but yeah, you're right. Everything you said, like, was right. Like, it just, what is it, and like what is going to be that move? So the Kevin Love, the John Collins, I didn't even think about that one. That actually, because for whatever reason, I feel like you might not have to get, like you said, you might have to give up a lot because they want to get rid of him anyway. Because me and Rashad were talking about this, because I hate Atlanta. Like I hate the whole, like, being from Georgia, I hate the whole decision getting rid of Luka for Trey. Me and Rashad do agree that Luka fits better in Dallas, Trey fits better in Atlanta, but it's like Atlanta, you never had that type of player come through and you had him. And then, like, you sign Gallinari, Rondo, trade for Capella. I'm like, what are these moves you're doing? So now John Collins shoot threes like it ain't nothing, dunk on everybody. So, like, that's like a great high energy player that can flourish in the Rick Carlisle system and not hit the bench. Hope not if you trade for him. But
you might bench yourself, get some more PEDs.
Hey, you hollering, man.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, we know.
He might bench himself.
Yeah, we gonna end the Dallas Mavericks talk right there.
21 and 10, 3.0 PEDs.
Chill. All right. Hey, so let's move on to the news over the weekend. Blake Griffin to the Brooklyn Nets. We kind of talked about it as far as, like, we knew he was gonna go somewhere. I got a little lash back a little bit when I said this. I said wherever Blake Griffin goes, he's not going to change that team's like trajectory. Like if he, for example, if you think Dallas Mavericks is a second round team, let's just say that, right? And Blake Griffin goes there, he doesn't make you a championship team. That's basically what I'm saying. Like he's not moving. Whatever you say that you think that team is going to go, that's probably where they're going to go with or without Blake Griffin. So he goes to the Brooklyn Nets, who most people have in the finals. Is he going to change that outcome? Probably not. They probably go into the finals regardless. So, y'all thoughts on Blake Griffin going to Brooklyn?
So personally, when I saw that was where he was expected to go, I was kind of like, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm also disappointed. I tweeted out that I would have really liked to see him go to Golden State because I think the key for Blake Griffin moving forward, I mean, he's made money, but from the longevity of his career, I think it would have been really great for him to go somewhere like Golden State where he could kind of reconstruct his game, put more of an emphasis on outside shooting to where him not dunking is not a problem. I swear if I see him dunk in a Brooklyn Nets uniform, I'm going to lose it. But
play the game hard and lob.
It will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he could have really improved as a shooter there, and they've got a great training development staff. Like KD got injured there, Klay Thompson, Steph, like they've all had major injuries there, and they've all, Klay, we're still waiting for him to come back, but Steph is looking just fine. And so I don't know if that's going to be the same for every single guy, but I thought that would have been a really great place for him to go. And with Brooklyn, like I'll be happy to see Blake get a ring if he does, but it's kind of just like, to me, it kind of gives like an overkill vibe. It's like, okay, good for you, but really, Brooklyn, they didn't need you. Like I don't know that, and that's like a personality, just kind of like a different you do what you want to do kind of thing. But I kind of wish he would have gone somewhere like Golden State, where I feel like he could have been a part of that team really and had more of an impact and really kind of improved. But it is what it is, I guess.
I think the move was perfect for Blake. I think he'll kind of operate as their Draymond Green type. You're a small ball defender. He's known to, I think he's an underrated passer, but he's known to be able to move the ball, hit mid-range. He'll be open all the time with KD, Kyrie, Harden. So you can bump that 3-point percentage up by a couple of points just by being open. So I just think, for what they're paying for him, if he helps you win 2 games, or he just plays some good defense, he's worth it. He only making a couple $1 million. They're like $2 million, I think. So it's not like they're paying him a whole lot of money. Right. He can restore his value and maybe make a few more $1 million on his next deal next year. But I think it works out for him. I think their only dilemma will be, how do you close games? You're gonna have Kyrie, you're gonna have Harden, you're gonna have Durant. Now you have to figure out, is this a Joe Harris type of game, or do we need Bruce Brown in the game? Do we need Blake, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan even? Like, how do you close games? Because at some point, based upon seeding, you will run into a Joel Embiid, and you're going to need the biggest body possible to handle him. So DeAndre Jordan might have to just get torched for a little bit. I don't know.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't even know if Blake can handle Embiid. Embiid's a monster this year for sure. Or at some point, you might run into Giannis. You can build a wall, but at some point, it's gonna be a couple of games. He'll break through that wall a couple of times. So does Blake stop that? Does Jeff Green stop that? I just want to see how their closing 5 will be, or like the guys they trust in those high pressure moments. Drummond's still on the market. Cleveland. We're just talking about they're holding him hostage. They need to just go ahead and let the man go.
You talk about overkill.
Drummond is the one who controls the NBA right now. If Drummond goes to the Lakers, if he goes to the Lakers, that's gonna save their season because AD he tripping this year. But if he goes to the Nets, you might as well go ahead and just lock it in.
That in.
You can drop your 401k on Nets winning the title.
Yeah, I'm about to say the only thing for Blake Griffin in this sense is with Kevin Durant in and out of the lineup and Kyrie in and out of the lineup, is like his stats going to, like, with playing with James Harden, your stats is going to inflate anyway. So like you said, he always going to be open. And without Kevin Durant shooting 20 shots and Kyrie shooting 20 shots and like in and out of the lineup, as long as Blake Griffin plays every game, he's probably going to have a 15 5-5 type season the rest of the way, just because they're gonna need him. You know,
He just gonna be happy. You in Detroit, you're losing. You just gonna be happy, man. You finna get 5 more points. You gonna get 5 more points off being happy. There's 2 dunks and a free throw just off being happy. Come on, man. This man was in Detroit. You only made the playoffs one time, and there was like a 41-41 season. You had the COVID-19 last man. Blake just gonna be happy being in New York.
I mean, say I'm not ducking another time. Not one more game in Detroit. When I get somewhere else, first play, it's coming, and I gotta watch the first game they play because I know he's gonna dunk in it. Like whatever the prop bet on that, go ahead and book that. For real, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, but yeah, Drummond's been rumored to Lakers and Nets. That is an overkill for real. Like either way, it's overkill. I mean, I guess Lakers gotta make a move now, but that's just way too much. Like people, like because Drummond top 6, top 7 center in my eyes. So it's like you add that.
He's top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I would just put 7 just so nobody won't leave me alone. That's why I said it. That's why I went that high.
Anybody talking about go back and go have a seat?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right, let's go on to our last segment of the night, the 3-and-D segment. Yeah, we did this before. Defend the statement or not. We got 3 statements here. Going to the All-Star game. We had to just have All-Star weekend. LeBron and Curry played together for the first time, and that was special to see, just to watch them play together. I mean, outside of Team USA, we have never seen them play on together, right? So defend this statement if somebody wants to. LeBron and Curry will be the best duo of all time if they was teammates.
Well, that's okay. That's tough because I feel like I could talk in circles about this over and over again. I think my biggest thing with LeBron is I've always said he's not the greatest. He's not the best shooter. In my opinion, Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. So you put those two together. If you put them on a team together, you can surround those guys with athletic dudes who can defend anyone else. And so there are ways to make that work. So I think if they were the head of a team, like a 2-headed snake on a team, I mean, they could be one of the greatest duos of all time. I think if you're like, oh, well, what if they played like 2-on-2 versus like Jordan and Kareem? Well, okay. I mean, that's not the conversation. Right. So I think that they could be the best duo of all time because they are so complementary. But that's a really tough statement. I mean, you know what? I'll say I do think that they could be the best duo of all time. I'll defend that one.
No. No.
You don't think so?
First of all, LeBron controls the ball way too much. So all the moving Steph does, that won't work. I mean, then there are only 2 guys on the 15-man roster. What else is going to be there? Like, who's going to be your big man? LeBron always has a big man. He didn't start winning until he had a good big man. So whether that's Bosh, a K-Love, or a Davis type of guy, you need a big guy. So who's going to be your big guy? Who's going to play defense? Steph ain't playing defense. LeBron play what he feels like. If it's 2012 LeBron, well, he locked in. But if it's 2018 LeBron, I got you in the fourth quarter, last 5 minutes. So it depends upon what version you get. But I don't care what version you get. They not going to be the best duo. Because those two together, at any point in their career, it's not winning more than 2 titles. Like, he couldn't even win more than 2 titles with Dwayne Wade. Steph Curry is smaller and don't play defense.
Well, okay, so all right, so I'm going to defend it a little bit because, all right, so I think the best duo of all time is Shaq and Kobe. All right, so we saw the dominant effect on that one. You got MJ and Pippen, you got Magic, Kareem. So that is the category where I think LeBron and Curry could be. They probably, if I had to put them on a list, they're probably 4 behind those 3. But all right, Rashad, you said they can't. Wade, we know he was coming down the mountain of his career, right? We said last year, I said it especially, Anthony Davis is LeBron James' best teammate ever. Like, we talking about career wise, okay, maybe not because he played with Shaq and Wade and all these kind of guys. But we talking about prime. Davis was in his prime, better than Kyrie in his prime, better than Dwayne Wade was coming down, better than Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. So, all right, so you get Steph Curry, who we'll get into this later. Where would you rank him in the top 10 list? I mean, he one of the only unanimous MVPs of all time. I mean, like,
that's BS, but
whatever it is, he don't have a Finals MVP, but that's also BS because Iggy definitely didn't deserve that one. But that's another conversation another day. But Curry, like Lauren said, is the greatest shooter of all time. You see him in 3-point contests, how he's able to come back, and he just on the court. And right now, I was like, man, I want to can Curry do what Dame Dollar can do, as far as like when people are injured. Can he have a top 5, put a team in the top 5 as a seed, and for the Warriors right now, they're right there in the mix of things. And even with Draymond, having a 5 and 10 year, and Wiggins are uber being inconsistent, the Warriors are still right there. So you put LeBron with anybody, like they could be, they can be a top duo of all time. Like that's just what it is. I mean, him and Davis right now, I mean, outside of Kevin Durant, Harden is the best duo in the league, and they got together and won a championship right off the bat. So, I might not say they're the best, but shit, top 5 easily. And
yeah, it's tough because I think to kind of even take it a little bit further. I mean, Steph, granted, like you said, Steph, the defense isn't really there, but if you have Steph and LeBron on the same team, does it really even matter? Like, if you're playing other teams, where's their defensive attention going to go? Because Steph can play off the ball. He's slippery. He'll run around screens. And Braun can just score on anybody. So, I mean, even if the defense is there, or isn't there, I don't know that they need it. And if LeBron can get Timothy Mozgov for $64 million, he can make any big man out there functional. So I think that they would be all right. And I think that they could be a team that would be good enough and win enough together to where people would say they might just be the best duo of all time. But I think there's an argument as to why LeBron and AD would be a more complementary duo than Steph and LeBron. But as far as winning and how many titles they could win together, I do think that that's an interesting conversation to have, and they could be right there.
All right, Rashad, give me how many titles does LeBron and Curry have if they were teammates for 10 years?
For 10 years, I mean, that depends upon the stage of their career, too. And then you got to still think about it's 31 other teams. Like right now, people going to be chasing the title, too. Like how you got Brooklyn over here chasing the title. You got Luka on the rise, Milwaukee on the rise, Philly over here, Denver, Utah. Like you have so many other teams still chasing that title. There's no guarantee. The Clippers, there's no guarantee they even get there just based upon other teams' roster, trades, buyouts, drafts. So, I mean, you got to give LeBron one, but that's probably it.
I'm about to say, you said get there. LeBron getting to the finals.
He still can lose though.
He might lose.
You got to give him one because he'll get there. But as far as winning it, I mean, unless it's All-Star game, he's undefeated. But as far as the finals, that's a different story. All
right, so you saying one? All right, Lauren, if they play together 10 years, how many rings did they get?
If they are doing a 10-year stretch from, let's say, age 24 to 34, I say they win. I'll say 2. I was gonna say 3, but I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'll say 2.
I'll give them 3.
You'll give them 3.
All the great duos won more than 3, so
that's fair. That's
at
good
least
point.
3. So I'll give them. If I got them in the top 5, probably they probably getting 3. Because outside the 3 I named, who else as far as duo? I guess you want to say Jerry West and Wilt, but they got 1. I can't think of anybody else right now.
Man, I wouldn't even count that. Man, I'm only counting 3-point line era and to the present.
Hey, you right though.
Man, plus that was head, man. He wouldn't even averaging 50 no more.
All right. So let's pivot from that, right? So we watched the All-Star game. So I want y'all to pick, from the All-Star game, give me a duo you wish was paired together, like right now in the NBA.
I mean, for my very, very biased take, I have to say Luka and Jokic. I think that would be an incredibly fun duo. The defense is another conversation, but it would be really fun. I think a lot of people would like to play with them. So they're essentially, well, not the same player, but they're so similar in the way that they play, One is just 7 feet tall, moves a little bit slower, but they're so similar. So I would really like to see them play together.
Oh, I already have mine. They reside in Brooklyn, New York. Harden and KD.
Okay. How about I'm gonna go with Dame and Giannis. Like,
that's a good one. I like that.
And both of them are too loyal to ever leave. But if they were to get together, like that's.
I'm not mad at that.
Tough.
I like when guys stay.
Yeah,
everybody don't have to go chase. I like when guys stay.
But if they was together, because we know Dame has never had that, and Giannis had never had a date. Like that's just two things that they never had. Like they trying to use the Bledsoe and Drew Holiday, but they're not Dame. You know, at the end of the day. So, and Dame has never had. He only had CJ and LaMarcus Aldridge. Like he definitely will love a Giannis on his team. Hey, Rashad, I'm surprised you didn't say Harden and Embiid. Because
no, it's already sealed, man. Like I love a good big and guard combo, but it's already sealed. I mean, to me, with him and KD, that's two of the best offensive players ever.
All right, let's go into our second statement. All right, here we go. This a big one. This a big one, Rashad. Luka is a top 5 player in the NBA.
We know he's not. Let's not even start this. We know he's not.
Okay, say?
We know that top 3 is LeBron, Durant, and Kawhi, no matter what order you put them in. And your 4 and 5 can be whoever you prefer. I mean, I like James Harden. I think he's the greatest offensive force we've ever seen. He can get you 60, he can get you 20 assists. He can hit 10 threes. He can have a 0 turnover game, double-double, triple-double, triple single like Draymond. James Harden will do whatever it need to be done to win the game. And based on this season, I'll put Embiid at 5. But normally, I'm a Davis guy. I mean, what Davis does is so versatile. You really can't beat that. Dribble the ball, shoot, defend. Can get 27 and 10. But for this year, I'll put Embiid as a top 5 guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this year you have to put Embiid as a top 5. I agree with that. He's in my list. He's not top 5 for me just because of recent years. Like I have to take that all into consideration. But my top 5 is based on, I look at their overall ability, their stats, and do they make their teammates better? Not just like, what are you good on one end of the ball, but you don't really provide a whole lot to the rest of the team. So I do think Luka's a top 5 player because I think there are very few players in the league that have the ability to fill up every area of the stat sheet, but also improve their teammates' shooting numbers, points, anything. And so I do think he's top 5 because he is that dude. And the numbers that he's putting up, nearly a 30-point triple-double. So I put him there. I give him the nod.
All right, so it's so hard. Like, so Rashad was saying Kawhi number 3. I pushed him down this year to 5 for Embiid and Harden. So we got the same top 5. Braun and KD is my 1 and 2.
Man, Kawhi putting up 27, highest assist total. Rebounds haven't slipped, and he's shooting phenomenal across the board.
I might still take Harden.
Like it's just low management what killed Kawhi, but
yeah,
outside of that,
it is. But Embiid doing right now, he's on a 2000 Shaq MVP season right now. If you look at those numbers, like that, they pretty identical. But where does Luka fall for me? Like, it's so hard because he having a 30-point triple-double. Like, when Russ did this, we were saying, Russ, like, this has never been done. We've never seen it, outside of guys who've seen, Big O. Like, we have never seen this kind of type of talent before. And
man, that was just a storyline MVP. Forget Russ.
Right. But Luka doing it, and we don't care. Like, it's not even like, it's like,
bro, Russ did it, and we didn't care no more. He did it and won MVP. The next 2 years after that, what did he do? He went from first team All NBA
to third,
another triple double, second team, another triple double, third team. He put up 20, 10, and 10 now. And look at it now. He was an All-Star this year. He didn't even get considered for All-Star. Nobody is banging the table for Russ to be an All-Star this year. Nobody didn't even care he went at the game this year.
You're actually right, because when we talk about snubs, nobody mentioned Russ at all, and
nobody even cared.
He averaged I think 29 and 9. Like, that's nobody cares no more. But yeah, so Luka,
that 0.8 rebound important, boy. He need that triple double.
Hey, but what's crazy is that when you do these like tier things, like So if LeBron, KD, Kawhi's up there, and like you have to branch off to guards to bigs because it's so hard for me to say like Giannis and AD is like so much better than a Jokic or a Luka, like or even a Curry and Dame. I feel like they all in the same boat. It's just the fact that okay, Davis and Giannis going to be defensive player of the year and score what Curry and Dame and Luka and Jokic put up. So it's kind of like when you, I guess when you tie the defense into it, if you hold that, you know, your best player doing everything, like really everything, then that's when you play. All right, Davis is up there, and that's when you say, okay, all right, Giannis can't shoot. Can I have shooters around Giannis? Is that easier to find, or is it easier to find defensive guys around Luka and Jokic? Like I guess it's kind of like more of a team building thing. But if you had to pick one, like we going down the list, I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't even know how to rank it. So I ranked it 6 AD, 7 Giannis, and then I put like 8 through 11 tie with Curry, Dame, Jokic, and Luka. But I'm gonna put Dame in the top 10 regardless. Like how I'm gonna stack them, they ain't gonna be my top 10. So it's like, and so I feel like Jokic gotta be in there too. So it's like I'm really gonna leave Luka and Curry out. Like that's just blasphemy. Like either way, it's like it's wrong. So I was like, I don't know, but is he top 5? If he turn up the second half of the season and they get to a 3 seed, he might like, you know, for this season purposes, like you just change him each and every day, he might can get there. If he turned Dallas around, if they make no moves, like you want to make a move, let's say they make no moves and he carried this team, then we have to have a different conversation.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the list, because like you said, I could look at it from do you play both sides of the ball? And if so, yeah, Luka's probably not in my top 5. But I also look at it as if you take this guy away from the team, what does that team look like? How much does that team take a step back with Anthony Davis, with the Lakers? Anthony Davis is out. What do the Lakers look like? If you take Harden away from the Nets, what do the Nets look like? And it's like, okay, well, we're evaluating individual players, so that logic. But with Luka, it's how do you overall impact your team? And so it's tough because on one side, it's like without Luka, a lot of these guys, I mean, they wouldn't even know what to do with the ball. I mean, no disrespect, but you need that ball handler to take initiative. And Luka is the only guy outside of, I mean, Jalen Brunson, you can make an argument for him, but he's the only one that takes initiative. And so what does that team look like without Luka? And so that's why I do give him the nod. But yeah, as far as 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's all right there. And then the two guys that I'm looking at my 10 spot where I have this guy / this guy, it's like, really 10? Like you think they're 10? You think it's really hard. I don't know that I can, as far as differentiating it, there's enough arguments to where I could be like, you know, that's a solid enough argument as to why this guy should be over this guy. But on this hand, if you're looking at it this way, well then I'd take the other way around. And so it's hard.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, my top 5, I have to keep that. I'll have Luka around like 7 or 8. I think just off of respect, I would still put Davis at 6. And out of respect for Giannis, I would give him 7. He can't shoot worth nothing. I mean, I was surprised he made them jumpers in the All-Star game, honestly.
The bank was open.
I mean, yeah, if he missed one jumper, Dame Lillard or Steph would have been MVP. It's all he had to miss one jumper, but he want to not be on status quo for the game.
It's true.
I mean, if push came to shove and you said just give me a top 10 and cut somebody off, I'll take Curry off. I'll put Curry at 11. If push came to shove, you said give me your top 10 right now, and that's tough. Like this dude is a 2-time MVP champion, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, he's putting up MVP type numbers from 2016 right now. Yeah. So it's tough to make that call. But look at what everybody else is doing. Luka's killing the game. Jokic is a big man, almost about to do a triple double. Dame has no help, putting up 30 and 8. I mean, Giannis, because of the playoff failures, he putting up MVP numbers again.
Do the same thing.
And he won't even get it. He won't even get an MVP vote or defensive player of the year vote.
No,
Giannis might not even make first team All NBA this year.
No,
yeah, that's actually
not. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. I have not thought about it like that. But I'm with you.
And he's killing it.
Are they doing
first team All NBA?
Are they doing center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards? Is that how they do it? First NBA, first team, or is it like just best 5?
I don't know.
They need to start doing best 5. They need to stop this position stuff. Anyway, because
I don't know.
So like, damn, Giannis might not make it because if they put
he might have better numbers this year than he did last year.
Embiid and LeBron are definitely going to be in that front court.
Mm-hmm.
And the other front court, if they say a forward, if he play 55 games, Durant gonna probably get the other spot.
Yeah.
Or it could be Kawhi, but I think Giannis gonna get bumped to second team just because of the playoffs. Granted, these are regular season awards,
Right.
but everybody's memory. Oh,
It's
the
true.
wall, he can't shoot, blah blah blah. He'll be on second team All NBA more than likely this year.
If I can ask you guys real quick, like quick fire, who's your MVP this year?
Harden.
Embiid today.
Go Harden.
Like if the criteria was counting the stats you want, I'm picking Harden because for the last 23 games, my man been lighting the league up. But everybody's gonna hold Houston against him.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
And then-
okay. If you want to do that, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. But
And then we know it when Kevin Durant comes back, it's gonna knock Harden down some too. But as of today, you got to go Embiid. I mean, he hasn't been injured. He's been taking some load management, but as long as he plays, I forget what the stat is, but it's like if you miss more than like 12 games, you would never win MVP. So it's gonna be weird to see if Embiid misses more than 12 games. Does he still win it, or does LeBron just tear it up the rest of the way? So they're the only two who can win it. I don't think Harden can win it. I want him to win it. I think he's been robbed twice before, but I don't think he'll win it.
Gotcha.
I'm about to say the only reason why we say Harden is like just imagine if they never made the trade for Harden. Like with Kevin Durant getting hurt, what the hell would the Brooklyn Nets look like right now?
Lottery. we saw Kyrie led team.
You know what a Kyrie led team going. That's
Then with the injured. With the injured.
Yeah, with it hurt,
gonna be playing?
and then Karis LeVert. Well, he probably would have. Nah, I ain't gonna say what I want to say, because if he didn't get traded, he wouldn't got no physical. He wouldn't have found out he had someone on his kidney. Like,
Oh my god.
so that would have been even worse. So he glad he got traded, but yeah, they would have been. They would have been down there.
Lottery.
They would have been down there.
Oh man.
Be the Brooklyn Magic.
Yeah,
The Brooklyn Pistons.
Yeah, right there. They'd be right there in the boat for real. Like, I
Oh
don't know.
my gosh.
All right, our last statement to defend. LeBron is the greatest GM of all time. All right, so he's 4-0 in All-Star game.
Man, we ain't need to acknowledge this, man. We're not going to play around like this. Jerry West is out here, man. Let's not play around like this.
So you saying the LeBron James Heat teams, the Lakers team, the Cavs team, when he flipped this whole team mid-season, you think that GM helped? You think that was the GM or that was LeBron?
I don't care. Jerry West scouted Kobe Bryant at 18, so he's gonna be the best player in the league. And he was right. Jerry West put together those Memphis grit and grind teams. He got Shaq to LA. He got Kawhi and Paul George to the Clippers. He got Paul George demanding trades with no leverage. I mean, Jerry West the man. Come on.
Devil's advocate. He could have had Paul Gasol, Mike Miller, and Carmelo Anthony in Memphis. He chose to trade that pick like 2 or 3 years earlier. I mean, it's hindsight, but whatever. He still could have had Melo in Memphis.
Man. I have to push back. I have to say I do think LeBron is the greatest GM of all time, because I don't think I have ever seen, and it honestly, this is a huge problem. This is like my only problem with LeBron, is I don't appreciate how someone can come in and flip a roster top to bottom, essentially upside down. The fact that one person has that much power and you're not even in the front office is mind blowing to me. And that doesn't like speak poorly on him. The fact that he has, everyone gives him that power. The league gives him that power. Right. So props to him. But for somebody to not just do that on one team, but on multiple teams, I'm like, it's mind blowing, because I think people are trying to react to LeBron. You see those tweets that's like, all this just to take down this. And to me, people are looking at Brooklyn right now, but I do kind of think it's the real story is you're trying to take down LeBron. Everyone talks about how elite playoff Bron is. And so, I don't know. I have to say that I do think LeBron is for that reason, but those are some great points about Jerry West. I think he definitely deserves a lot of credit there.
Sure, he got KD to Golden State. Every game-changing move,
Jerry West put his hands.
Was Jerry West.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true. Except he ruined Miller's career. No, I was playing. That was Miller's fault. Chasing the bag. That's Miller's fault. But LeBron. Man, first off, It don't matter who drafted against him. How did they let him get Curry and Dame on the same team?
Well,
And
you gotta remember.
Giannis.
No,
And
so
Luka.
you gotta remember the All-Star game is friendship based.
I ain't drafting no Kawhi, no All-Star game. You're not giving me Kawhi or Gobert.
Bro,
That's two guys I ain't drafting.
you're missing the whole point. If I go to a park, I know he the dribble guy and all that kind of stuff. I'm not taking Kyrie with the first pick.
No.
That where it goes downhill.
That's where it went wrong right there. He chose his teammate.
Do you feel like he had to do that?
Man, I ain't doing it.
Not man. If you my dog, you got to understand. I'm not picking you first. I want to win the game. I want this bonus check. I'm taking Embiid. It goes back to LeBron. He taking Curry. When it come back to me, I'm taking somebody else. I'm not taking Kyrie first. I'm taking somebody else. He could have got Luka. I mean, granted, he didn't play worse than an All-Star game, but maybe he'd play harder.
You gotta learn who's an All-Star player. Like an All-Star game player. These are different categories. Dame, Harden, Giannis, Curry. Those are the guys you want every time, no matter what.
I feel like everybody was crazy because they really drafted Kawhi like he was gonna play hard this year. He won MVP last year. He ain't playing hard this year.
I don't care what it is. Bro. All right. You saw how the Jazz were the last guys drafted. Like Kawhi, if Kawhi wasn't a starter, he'd be last. I ain't drafted Kawhi. I don't care. Nah, he down at the bottom because he not gonna play. He not gonna try. Like he just out there just having fun. I guess he don't smile. Like, I guess he having fun.
I mean, LeBron didn't even try. LeBron played 13 minutes on hit like 4 points.
LeBron ain't try either. Yeah, that's true.
He's out there making deals, is what he's doing.
Yeah, LeBron
knows why he's there.
LeBron was on rest anyway going into the All-Star game. You know he wasn't playing in this. But you got to draft Giannis. If you don't, that's the first pick every time. Giannis, number one. And then if you get Giannis, next pick is Curry. Like that's just what it is. And Durant, first off, so you don't even know how I feel about Kyrie. Like I'm the president of the Kyrie Hater Club. So to draft Kyrie over Curry. Like you should have just said, "Hey, can I draft Dame or can I draft Dame first instead of Kyrie?" Like that's where I would have been at. Like I don't know, Kevin Durant, he don't need to be no captain no more. I think that was the first time being a captain. He don't need
that was his fault. His team really didn't come out that bad. It's just the fact that you took Kyrie with the first pick. Like if you take somebody else right there, like if you'd have took Curry, it'd have been different because Bron already got Giannis. He ain't gonna take him beat now.
Yeah, right. You would have got Now, to be fair, your Embiid and Ben Simmons were out,
but KD can't draft Curry because he got to still take Kyrie. So I mean,
that's true. Can I ask what the reasoning is for the Kyrie hater fan club? Why that is?
All right, so it goes way back to like coming into the league. I'm not a handles guy. Like when you sit here and you want to argue that Kyrie's better than whatever. Don't say he got better handles. What does that matter to me? When in the NBA, you see LeBron take one dribble and go through the whole lane. Giannis go through the whole lane. Luka and Jokic both slow. They go through the whole lane. Like they don't need the moves to get to the basket and score the bucket. Like don't argue me about handles. That's the first thing. But when he was I think my whole thing really was Kyrie is like we always say like he's this he's a champion. He did hit a great shot, right? But it's like. I say this all the time. If LeBron said, I'm going to Charlotte when Kimmel was there, or he said, I'm going to Portland when Dame was there, like, Kyrie would never have won. He wouldn't have won nowhere. He wouldn't have got to the playoffs with the Cavs. Dame would have been a champion. Kimmel Walker would have been seen on a whole different light. It's because you had LeBron. And then he had the audacity to say that Kevin Durant his best teammate ever. Like, that just, all that kind of stuff, just like throwing shots at Bron when he know that Bron led him, like, to the final. Like he wanted to go get there unless LeBron came back. I think that's just what it is. And everybody hype, is he one of the greatest finishers at the rim? Yeah, his left package is crazy, but it's like I don't want to hear about no handles. Like we're not playing A1 basketball.
No, I'm gonna give you some sage. Stop hitting on that man.
Give some sage.
I mean, I'm not as much of a hater as I used to be, but like I definitely was on the side. I was like, John Wall better than Kyrie. I was that argument in the early 2012, 13s. I was that argument.
Hey, for real, John Wall playing two-way, averaging double.
and then I was saying I never said Kemba was better. I said Kemba and Kyrie
they same level.
They the same level as far as they gonna give you the same thing. It is that one had LeBron and one didn't. I think that's would have been the difference for Kemba. And now you see him on Boston as a third guy, and he's scoring 20. Nobody care. And I think that's would have been him on LeBron. Like he would have been, I mean, whatever it is. But it is more of that. It's more of like everybody like try to overhype him. I guess is what it is.
Fair enough.
All right. That's the end of our show. Before we let you go ahead and shout out all everything you do, your Twitter, Instagram, so everybody can follow you.
Yeah, so my Twitter is @lgun with 4 N's. I write for Mavs Moneyball, so all my pages or articles will drop there and be linked to my Twitter. In my bio is also the link to the Blue Hardwood podcast that I co-host with Brian Zillum, along with the Gunshot that I co-host with my brother Grant Gunn. So yeah, everything is attached to my Twitter.
All right. Rashad, you got anything you want to say? Get out of here, man.
Oh no, man! Dope show. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Blow the finger guns out.
Yes.
Hey, you funny.
You guys are killing me.
Preach Rashad, man. We out.